I'm going to be needing some dowels for the next couple projects coming up, and I want them to match the lumber I'm using. Um, and you're typically kind of limited to what you can buy off the shelf. There's oak and poplar, unless you have a specialty store like Woodcraft or if you order them online. But I'm just going to make my own. Now the lumber I'm using for the next couple projects is just this pine off the shelf, and I can't find dowels to match that. So I need dowels that are going to be about an inch thick. And what I've done here is I just took the craft boards you can buy, a half an inch thick by, I guess that's supposed to be 2 inches, ends up being an inch and a half. But I'm going to rip it down until it's a little bit closer to square, and I'm going to lay it out and show you how to make this with a hand plane. Okay, so now that I have this, it's ripped down, and these things don't, it's pretty close to half an inch. But this doesn't have to be perfectly exact. So what I did was I took, I can't find my damn compass anywhere, so I just taped a pencil to this pair of dividers and find the middle. And you don't really have to measure that either. You can just keep, checking it until it's about right. But you just want to draw a circle. Well, like I said, that's not exactly perfect, but it's okay. And I've already done it on the other end. So then the next step is I have this. Some of you might remember this from the puzzle video, but I made this little cradle, and it holds work for me at 45 degrees. And if I can position it so that the plane doesn't hit it while I'm planing, the next thing I'll do is work on the corners. And actually, I'll probably start this with the block plane just because all I want to do is knock these corners off at a 45-degree angle. Until I get down to that line. So basically what I'm doing is forming an octagon. I was using this block plane just because I thought it would be a little easier to manage holding this with my hand, but instead of that, what I did was I put this, I have a clamp here, and I just put, actually it's the piece that I ripped off this, at the end to act as a stop. So now I'm just going to go ahead and use the big plane. And you might be able to see that right there. I'm getting pretty close to my line. And I'm probably going against the grain there. I can't really say for sure. That's going to happen, especially when you start actually smoothing out these lines and forming the circle. Now, I don't know if you can see that right there, but I'm pretty close to my circle. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to do that on all four corners. Can't drag the plane back when you're doing this. So now here, hopefully you can see that pretty good. I've gotten really close to my lines, and what I could do at this point is sort of finesse it right on down to those lines, or I could just start, probably at this point, what I'll do next is just start knocking off each of these edges and just continuing around until, it matches the circle here and on both ends. And there again, you can see how close I'm getting. And of course, it takes a bit of fooling around, and you got to keep at it. And I really recommend building some kind of jig similar to this. But the other thing you could do is you could take a spokeshave as well, of course, and you can also do this freehand, maybe with a little block plane like this. And this is a good exercise, of course, for control over your hand plane and block plane too. Plus also reading the grain. You can tell if you're going the wrong way. And one thing I will say is I recommend setting both your block plane or a regular hand plane at a very low setting so it's not taking off a heavy cut. And I can sand on it for a while, and that'll probably bring it about as close to round as I need it to be. And that's probably good enough. For what I'm doing, this is just going to be fine. This is actually going to be a part for the next video I'm filming. But I wanted to make it a separate video so you could refer back to this specifically, because another project I have coming up is going to have a dowel like this also, but it'll be even longer yet. So there you have it. Quick video on making dowels. Hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.